They called it the Sea Plague, a sickness that spread through the Caribbean faster than wind, faster than reason. Men would wake breathing fine and die before nightfall. Their skin blackened, their eyes milk-white, their veins glowing faintly blue beneath the flesh. It wasn't disease. It was discovery gone wrong. In 1724, aboard the pirate ship Vigilant Mercy, a surgeon named Elias Wren claimed he could cheat death itself. He believed the ocean held a secret, a living salt that could reanimate dying flesh. His experiment began with a whisper and ended with screams heard across 3 ports. When rescuers found the wreck, they said the deck was covered in frost. But the Caribbean night had been warm. Bodies lay untouched, eyes open, lips moving without breath. And below deck, in the surgeon's cabin, they found his journal. The first line read, "The cure worked, but it doesn't know who it belongs to." The year was 1724. The Caribbean was rotting not from war but from infection. The ports of Havana, Nassau, and Tortuga had all gone silent within weeks. No trade, no laughter, only the sound of waves and coughing men. Ships burned in harbors to stop the spread. Doctors on land refused to board vessels. But on the open sea, where gold and sickness shared the same air, one man refused to surrender. Elias Wren had once been a naval surgeon, brilliant, exiled, and obsessed. He believed the sea wasn't spreading disease. It was creating life. He'd seen fish regenerate wounds that would kill a man, coral that grew from bone, and plankton that glowed like blood under the moon. He called it the ocean's memory of living things. So when the Vigilant Mercy fell ill, he saw opportunity. Half his crew dying, half gone mad with fever, Wren made them a promise. "I can fix what the sea has taken." He began collecting samples, seawater, barnacles, jellyfish, mixing them with blood drawn from the dying. He claimed the ocean had antibodies older than time itself. If he could isolate them, he could teach death to forget. The first test was on a dead rat. Within minutes, it moved. Within hours, it bit the surgeon. The crew called it witchcraft. Wren called it proof. And when his own hand began to turn blue where it had been bitten, he smiled. He said, "It's working." First, it looked like a miracle. By dawn, the fevered men had color in their cheeks again. Their breathing steadied. The sores on their skin faded to pale scars. The crew cheered. They called it Wren's blessing. Even the dying smiled, because for the first time in weeks, no one was coughing. But miracles don't last at sea. That night, the laughter stopped. The air grew cold, though no storm approached. The resurrected men began to whisper, not to each other, but to the ocean. Wren moved from patient to patient, taking notes as their pulses slowed again, only to rise twice as fast moments later. Their veins glowed faint blue under lantern light. And when one of them laughed, seawater poured from his mouth instead of breath. The surgeon called it the body remembering where it came from. The crew called it madness. They begged him to stop. He refused. He said the experiment was incomplete. The infection was not killing them, it was transforming them. Then one sailor collapsed. Wren leaned in to listen, and the man's eyes snapped open. He didn't breathe. He inhaled the air out of Wren's lungs. Lanterns blew out. Men screamed in darkness. When light returned, 3 sailors were gone. No splash, no struggle, only puddles of seawater where their bodies had been. The ocean outside churned, glowing faintly blue like something alive. Wren stared through the porthole, his reflection flickering in the glass. But his reflection blinked after he did. He whispered into the night, "I didn't cure death, I invited it in." By the 3rd night, the ship was no longer quiet. Something moved between the boards. A wet, crawling sound, like the sea itself trying to breathe through the wood. Half the crew had locked themselves in the galley. The others were beyond saving. Their skin had turned translucent. You could see the veins beneath, glowing like veins of light under the skin of a jellyfish. They didn't bleed anymore. When cut, they leaked seawater, cold, clear, and alive. Wren roamed the lower deck barefoot, journal in hand, muttering observations. He no longer looked sick. His wounds had closed, his voice calm. He wrote that the infection had stopped fighting the body and started communicating. The sea outside began to pulse, waves rolling in rhythm with the faint thump of heartbeats echoing below deck. The ship's compass spun endlessly. The wind died. Wren placed his hand against the hull. It was warm. He whispered, "It's awake." Then, from beneath came a knock. 3 slow, deliberate knocks from the deep. The men in the galley screamed for him to burn it, to burn the ship, the journals, everything. Wren refused. He said the ocean had chosen them, that they were the first generation of the Undrowning. Moments later, the hull cracked. Blue light spilled through the seams. Water began to rise, not flooding, but crawling upward, forming tendrils that reached like hands. The infected men walked calmly into it, eyes glassy, lungs filling with brine. They didn't drown. They stood there, beneath the surface, looking up, alive in a way that defied reason. Wren wrote his last words as the ship began to sink. The ocean heals all things, even the dead. When the sea closed over the Vigilant Mercy, there was no struggle, just a faint blue glow that lingered long after the ship was gone. A month later, a merchant ship drifting through the Florida Straits sighted something strange. A calm patch of ocean, perfectly still, glowing faintly blue beneath a starless sky. At its center floated wreckage, untouched by storm or salt. Among the debris was a surgeon's chest, sealed with pitch and lined in glass. Inside, wrapped in oilcloth, they found a journal. Its pages were damp, the ink smeared, but a few words remained clear. The sea remembers. Those who opened it said the pages were warm to the touch, and as they turned them, they swore they heard faint breathing, as if the paper itself were alive. The chest was sent to London, but within weeks, the archivist who handled it fell ill. No fever, no wounds, only pale skin, blue veins, and silence. The journal was buried in a lead vault beneath the Royal Maritime Museum. But sailors claim that when the tide is low, you can still hear scratching beneath the stone, like someone writing from underwater. Years later, fishermen began reporting lights beneath the Caribbean. Not lanterns, bodies. They said you could see them walking across the seafloor, eyes open, hands reaching toward the surface. Some call it superstition. Others say it's evolution. But old captains still warn their crews. If the sea ever glows blue at night, don't touch it. Don't sail across it. Don't even breathe, because the ocean never forgets what you put inside it. And some experiments never stop working. Soft, reflective pause. We call it legend. But maybe Elias Wren wasn't trying to cure death. Maybe he just found a new way to live beneath it. What would you do if the cure you made refused to let you die?